Let's move on to this very devastating story. It is alarming to see soldiers being killed, particularly in large numbers. The Defense Headquarters has confirmed the killing of 14 military officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army by gunmen in Bomadi community of Delta State. The unfortunate incident occurred when the troops responded to a distress call after the communal crisis between the Okuama and Okoloba communities. The reinforcement team, led by the commanding officer of 181 Battalion, was also attacked, leading to his death. Death of 2 majors, 1 captain, and other soldiers. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has directed immediate investigation and arrest of those involved in the killing of the military men. Gentlemen, this is barbaric. BKO.
This is an unacceptable act of provocation that requires a strong response from the armed forces. If there is no strong response from the armed forces, the Nigerian military would appear to have been demystified, humbled, disgraced in the service of fatherland. I was told just before I came into the studio that the same group of people killed policemen who were sent to the area over this same needless fighting. They wasted those policemen, and because nothing happened to them, they must have felt that, look, let's do it to soldiers. The CEO that they killed is one of the rising stars of the Nigerian Army. He had served in the Northeast, he had served in the Northwest before they sent him to Operation Delta Save. I don't know how you could console the family of people who made up their minds to defend their country, to ensure that the rest of us are safe. That is the commanding officer, Charlie. And then if the extent that they went with these guys draws parallels with what happened in Zakibiam. They cut their heads, they cut some of their limbs, they disemboweled them in a manner that only animals, the sort of behavior consistent with animals. Yeah, you just kill people serving their country. It was a distress call that they were responding to, for God's sake. Now, we are the same people who say, oh, they raised an alarm, the army didn't go there. Oh, they raised an alarm, the police refused to go. People go in response to alarm, to an alarm raised. They went with the intention of saving lives, and you killed all of them. They killed everybody. What kind of nonsense is this? How do you do this to your army? It shows that some of us are still living in the Stone Age. Because I don't imagine that Americans, when they see their soldiers, they show utmost respect to them. If a soldier wants to join a queue, people will give up their spaces for the soldier to be in their front. They honor their soldiers at every turn. Whether it's in the airport, anywhere, they honor their soldiers. Because they know the sacrifices that these guys are making. I've seen soldiers killed by IEDs. Some lost their limbs to IEDs. Go to 44 Reference Hospital in Kaduna and see soldiers who have been maimed, turned to almost invalids in the service of their fatherland. And then you treat soldiers in this manner. That's a soldier, a commander, at the head of a minimum of 850 soldiers. That is the UN recommendation. That command, at least 850. It may not have as much as that, but you can imagine how many troops he had. And he chose to lead from the front. and then you wasted them, cut their limbs, threw them inside the river. What is their crime? The communal conflict for which they came to help, they didn't cause it. It's just similar to what happened in Zakibiam. We can't be provoking our security forces like this. Look at what happened. When people talk about what Obasanjo did in Odi, Obasanjo did this, Obasanjo did that. Look at what they did. About 14 policemen. You abducted them. They paid ransom. Government who brought ransom. You collected the ransom, you still slaughtered them. That was why the government of Obasanjo was angry. Of course, the army claimed that they were ambushed as they were moving into the place, but that's a story for another day. But hundreds of lives paid for it. We can't continue this kind of behavior. All irresponsible behaviors have consequences. Absolutely. They must realize. When you waste the lives of soldiers in this manner, in fact, one general that I spoke with compared this OC, this commanding officer, to the great tank commander, Abu Ali. In terms of his talent, in terms of his determination, they always send him to the difficult places. We've lost a Nigerian hero. Young people. I don't understand.
Adewale, I mean, we can, as a nation, we can be thinking of fighting banditry, fighting terrorism, and also thinking of whether or not the soldiers we've sent out would be safe, even within, I mean, amongst the people we've sent them out to protect.
Well, first of all, my condolences to the families of these innocent human beings, whose sole offense was that they staked their life for the security of our country. You see, this is a very sad day in the history of our country.
It is.
Because these soldiers were out to ensure peace between two communities that they probably do not belong to. They are not from those communities, but they just feel that, look, stop killing yourselves. And they were sent to come and maintain peace. And then the next thing, youth surrounded them. Of course, they must have been armed, those youths.
Yes.
And
the army is even saying that they've taken away their weapons.
You know?
So the operation now that the army, directed by the force headquarters, that those weapons must be recovered. Yeah. You took their weapons, you took their lives.
So I think this is a grave assault on the Nigerian state. No matter the level of provocation. And in this case, there was even no provocation, no justification. Yeah. Even the savage manner that they killed these people and then just threw their bodies like that. They should put themselves in the position of those soldiers. That somebody just come to you and kill you like that. How will your family people feel? Oh. So it's, we shouldn't tolerate this kind of thing. Of course, if you are a poor man or a rich man, or a cobbler, a professor, we are all equal before the law. But soldiers perform extraordinary role in the life of every country. So they deserve honor, they deserve respect. These are people who have signed that, look, I'm ready to die in order to protect the integrity of this country. And then that's exactly what they are doing to maintain peace and all that. Then you just pounce on them. They sent for reinforcement. They use, attack the officers again and kill them, commanding officer. So I think they should know that this thing has grave consequences.
Yes.
However, I will advise that we need a surgical approach that will ensure that the people that perpetrate this crime are arrested, and then, if possible, they should face the death sentence. Because I don't want a situation where children, innocent women, pregnant, who are even in support of the army, who are also victims of these criminals, happen to now to be the one that will be killed. Because when it happened, myself, Femi Falan, and Ulisa Agbakoba, we were the first of the people that went there after, there was a siege. And then we saw 3-year-old carcasses of children, pregnant women. An old woman, I think they plugged the body to electricity because we saw the wire. And then on it, we saw the burnt carcasses, bodies dumped Of course, it was due out of provocation, but probably those who committed that crime escaped. Innocent people were maybe the same people are even responsible for what you are saying today. So we must make sure that those that carried out this crime, those people must not escape. All of them are their collaborators, and those who supply them guns. And that's why I'm talking about lling, DNA system. If the army had gone there and they have taken fingerprint, but if lling is not effective, how would they? It will have been so easy. Just put it on computer and then you locate all of them. So I hope that the army will get at the root of this. But everyone that, even if they are 20 or 50 or 100, I think all of them must be arrested and justice must be done.
All right. Okay, before I take you up on how the military should approach this, so that we do not have innocent lives, dying for no reason, the governor has reacted in a tweet, but I hope this goes beyond mere rhetorics.
I am ashamed that the Delta state government just responded today. This attack happened days ago, I think the night of Thursday or so. They are just responding. That in itself is a matter of, is something that the governor should be ashamed of. That this sort of killings took place in the state. Because none of these governors can actually move around without security, soldiers, police, and all that.
That's correct.
They will waste these people in your state, and it took so long. It took so long to even respond. It sends a clear message to our servicemen that they are not valued, that they are not respected. Because the government should have responded before now. They can't claim that they were not aware. They can't claim that they were not aware. How do you allow this kind of thing to happen? Well, if it happens, yes, we can't blame you that this has happened, but you have to respond quickly.
Swiftly.
Not that you allow days to pass before responding. How does one explain that kind of a delay in responding to this level of fatality? So, for me, it's unfortunate that innocent people will die. That's why Delegiwa said in one of his essays that unfortunately in all wars, those who die are those who do not deserve to die. And Mamman also said that wars are started by the men and left to be fought by you and me. So the people who caused this, they must have fled a long time ago. They are innocent people who eventually die. You saw what happened in Zakibiam. In Zakibiam, even the uncle of the middle past chief of army staff paid with his life. So when people trigger this kind of crisis, they should know that they cannot determine how things will end, how it will be resolved. So this is the thing. We must recover the weapons that they went away with. It's the property of Nigeria. Because those weapons may be used to commit more criminalities or even economic sabotage. The army has a duty to recover all of those weapons. And never again should people kill our soldiers in the name of doing their work. No. As a country, we reject it.
Okay, can you hold that thought while I take Godwin from Port Harcourt? Good afternoon, Godwin. Godwin, good afternoon to you. Welcome to Journalist Hangout. Godwin, if you can hear me, please go ahead with your contribution. All right, Bikio, you were talking about in the process of interrogation and the process of investigation.
It's always tough. It's always tough to ensure that there's no collateral damage. Not even the best army in the world can guarantee that.
Is there a way to minimize it?
We can only admonish them to do their best to find only the culprits. But you and I know it's difficult. We don't even have the technology to... I'm saying even advanced militaries, innocent people still die. In Ukraine, as we speak, innocent children are being killed. Innocent children are being killed. If the Ukrainians had made up their minds to also attack Russia heartland, innocent Russians would have been killed. It happens. Because I don't know how you can placate people who have seen their commander killed in this manner. I don't know how you can. The provocation, the level of provocation is too much. Some of these non-state actors who believe that they can simply do what they like, we have to put them in their place. As the former president said, we have to speak the language that they understand to them. Because you are not bigger than the Nigerian state. And killing a Nigerian soldier is an assault on the Nigerian state. That's the way it is. America will go to great lengths over the death of a single soldier. I've seen that demonstrated during the war, the Bosnia war. An American fighter pilot's plane was downed. If you see the extent to which they went, the extent that they went just to rescue that guy and ensure he didn't get into the hands of the enemy. And when they brought him back to the military base, the honor that they gave him, that's how they honor their servicemen. In our own case, we killed 16 servicemen behaving like their lives don't matter. No, their lives matter.
All right.
And because they fight for you and I, they do not deserve to die in vain. I hope that the president will also honor these soldiers so that their families will be sufficiently placated.
And we hope perpetrators are brought to book. Gentlemen, let's go on a break, and when we come back, we will move on